Welcome back to the Auto Insider, where you come to find out what's new, what's hot, and what's not in the automotive industry. This week we have this 2022 Toyota Supra 2.0 GR. This is the base model for the Supra, if there is such a thing as a base model when you're talking about an iconic vehicle like the Supra. I only call it base model because there are a couple of levels above the 2.0, like the 3.0, and there's a special edition that have a lot more horsepower, a lot more spunk, and provide a lot more excitement while you're driving. However, that doesn't take away from the fun and the sportiness of this 2.0 Supra. Let's not waste any more time out here. Let's do what we do. Let's get inside and see what this Supra is about behind the wheel. And once you fold up and get yourself inside of here, you notice space isn't so bad. There's plenty of headroom, plenty of leg room. Cabin is plenty wide enough for an average size adult. Another couple of things you notice when you come inside, there are a lot of things here that remind us of another car brand. We're not going to talk about that on this video. You know what it is. If you don't, you can find plenty of videos out there to talk about that. We're going to stick strictly to the Toyota Supra. So I mentioned at the intro that this is the 2.0. This is the entry level of the Toyota Supra. But when you get inside, I was impressed with the materials, the fit and finish in here. We have this two-tone interior. You have some leatherette bolsters, a little bit of a suede center here, all the way up the seat back, contrasting stitching here. And the seats are very supportive, and these bolsters keep you right in place when you're taking this car out on some back roads and pushing it to the limits. There are multiple ways to adjust these seats, though they are manual adjustments, but you can still get it where you want it. Speaking of manual, there will be a 6-speed manual transmission for 2023. So if you are someone looking for a manual transmission sports car, you may want to wait until the 2023 model comes out. If you don't mind paddle shifters, sport mode, 2022 will do you just fine. But if you just can't wait, this 2022 is no slouch. And you have this carbon fiber accents here around your infotainment controls. You can do it manually, or you can do it from the touchscreen. I'll show you that in just a minute. Steering wheel have all of your controls here that you've become familiar with: radio, cruise control, changing your radio stations, answering your phone, rain sensing windshield wipers. That touchscreen has wireless Apple CarPlay. You have dual climate controls, buttons, and knobs to control the radio. From the looks of things here, you would expect to be able to open this hood this way. Wouldn't that be really cool? But nope. You have to go this way. And even though there's no excitement opening the hood, there's a little bit of excitement under the hood. Now this is the 2-liter that has 255 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. That's a far cry from the 3.0 6-cylinder that you can get on the Supra. But one of the benefits of the 2.0 is you don't necessarily have to use premium fuel. 91 is what's recommended, unlike 93 for the other Supras. And while the exhaust on this 4-cylinder probably won't win any awards, it's not a bad little crackle there. So here's one of the few complaints I have about the Toyota Supra is how do you open the trunk from the outside? Well, there's nothing here on the rear of the car. I checked the owner's manual, and there's no way to open the trunk from the outside other than the remote that's usually in our pockets. We've been spoiled. I guess it's not a big deal. There is a button here on the key to open it, but I would like to have seen a way to open the trunk without having to go in my pocket. Once you're here though, there's a decent amount of cargo space for what the average person driving a sports car has to carry. There's enough room here for a couple of duffel bags, or maybe even one full-size piece of luggage. So if you're taking it to the beach and you only got one person riding with you, that'll be enough room for that. So there have been no real aesthetics changes to the Toyota Supra since its introduction. I, though, have liked the hips on the back of this car since the first time I saw it. It looks like the wind is moving around this car at all times, like it's in motion. I would like to have seen these vents be active and add to the performance of the vehicle, but then we'd be looking at a lot more expensive car. However, the Supra still keeps the air moving. There's an aerodynamic underbody panel that keeps the air going under the car. And for the wind that comes from the front, the splitter sends the air around the wheels, going around these 18-inch aluminum wheels to cool off these single piston aluminum floating brake calipers. And this aerodynamic panel comes all the way around to the rear diffuser to keep this Supra firmly planted on the road as you take it through the paces. That's all the time we have today on the Auto Insider, but for more of what's new, what's hot, and what's not, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and download the SoundCloud app and listen to all of our reviews in their entirety. 2022 Toyota Supra GR 2.0. Is it hot or is it not? If I had never driven the 6-cylinder version of this car, I'd certainly say it's hot. However, the 4-cylinder needs a little more power, but it does get pretty good fuel economy. Not to mention, I can use the mid-grade fuel in this vehicle. The paddle shifters make it fun. When you switch it over to sport mode, it is a little more aggressive and a little more assertive. Feels more like a sports car. And it is the iconic Toyota Supra. Check out the website. I'm sure you can find some add-ons to improve the horsepower and to improve the handling. But if you want the big boy, you have to go to a 3.0. The Supra 2.0 is really warm. I'm Daryl Killian for the Auto Insider.